Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this week's Wednesday webisode. We're broadcasting from my learning library located on the rocky coast of Maine. Today's subject is creating, maintaining, profiting from, and enjoying a mobile spa business. Me and my mobile spa business. Years ago, I moved here. I left a really great, profitable year-round job on Cape Cod. I worked at a chiropractic office, and now I move here to Maine. That's why I came here and stayed, as a story for another day. But what I realized was there's no people and there's no money. So the summertime was when I made all my money. When spa became, what's so funny about
It's not as depressing as it sounds, I promise.
Look at us. We're looking out my front window. It's woods. There's nothing here. Anyway, But you know what? It is beautiful. So if any of you viewers want to come to Maine, Google us, Castine, Maine. He lives in Surrey, which is a couple of towns over. And the first thing you'll see is on Google Maps. It's you can put the little handprint over it, and text will come up, and it will say the middle of nowhere. But anyway, kidding. Anyway, so back to the mobile spa business. So I meet a woman here. She becomes a very good friend of mine, and we start a spa business. She was building a brand new house, and they dedicated a space in the house for a spa. So we got a lot of business there, but what we realized was we were getting more and more calls from inns and smaller hotels along the coast who wanted spa, knew they could make money from spa, but didn't have the money to build a spa and didn't have the space to build a spa. So we came up with this mobile spa business concept, or satellite spas. The mobile part was that we traveled to these different satellite locations that we set up. So we eventually came up with a plan because so many of these smaller inns requested that we provide spa services to their guests. So that was the first thing. We provide spa services to our guests. So we had to backtrack and figure out, how do we make this happen? So the first thing we did was we required the inn to dedicate a space to us. Sometimes it was a room that they had a difficult time renting out because of the location, or because it wasn't really appealing. One of the spaces that was turned into a spa space for us was an old storage room. So if you can find an 8 by 10 space, just a space big enough for a couple of massage tables at these inns that they can dedicate to you, you're well on your way to having a spa business. And this is great because now you're not paying rent and you're not paying utilities. It's all on the smaller hotel or the inn. The next thing that you want to do is you want to come up with a list of supplies and equipment that you need to perform the spa treatments that you're going to perform at the location. So for instance, we did wraps, scrubs, hot stone. We did couples massage, although I don't really consider that a spa treatment. People like to put it under the spa category. And of course we offer deep tissue massage, trigger point work, and all your general massage modalities, prenatal massage, things like that. So as time went on, over the course of a few years, we had 6 or 7 of these satellite locations. Now they weren't close together because, again, we live on the rocky coast of Maine and it's pretty vast. So what we did was, when we created our pricing on our menu of services, we factored in time in the car, setup, cleanup, gas, and by now you probably got the calculator and you're thinking, that was expensive. Well, it was. One of the locations that we serviced charged $185 for a 75-minute hot stone. Who would pay that? Betty Lou from Iowa would pay that. Sally Joe from New York City will pay that. Bob, who wants to do something special for his wife from, Nevada, would do that. These are all people who are from away. That's a big term in Maine, from away. Yeah. Josh and I are from away because we weren't born here. If you were born over the Massachusetts border and within hours of your birth you crawled across the border, you're still from away. That's a crazy vision, isn't it?
That's about it.
A little baby crawling across. But anyway, you're still from away. But so these are the people who are going to pay the price. I mean, think about when you go on vacation. Something that you'd buy on vacation, you don't really care what it costs. You would never buy it in your own hometown, but you'll buy it when you're away. So that's where we set it up. That's how we set it up. That's why we set it up. And that's how we paid ourselves. The other thing is scheduling. All of the inns that we serviced said, well, are you going to give me certain days per week? No. Do not lock yourself down for certain days for certain inns. You need to tell them first come, first serve. A couple of reasons why. First of all, you don't want to lock yourself down to a certain day at a certain inn and then you don't get any appointments. And number two, when you say to them first come, first serve, it sparks something in them that knows, I got to get on this. So what we would suggest to these inns is that when the guest checks in, they explain to the guest the services that are available. So we always had our menu of services ready to go at the front desk of all the inns. So when the guests check in, the front desk person can say, okay, these are some spa services that we offer. We really need you to book ahead. So please take a look, and if you see anything you like, call us and we'll make it happen. We also really liked it that the front desk did most of the appointment making, but certainly if a guest called us, we were fine with that too. And then the third thing would be profit to the inn. This is where they made their money back on their initial investment. Some of the inns didn't mind, and we kept all of the money, and some of the inns wanted a cut. So what we did was we came up with a dollar figure that we wanted to collect. Regardless of what they collected, we came up with a dollar figure of what we wanted to collect. So, for instance, on that $185 hot stone, I think we were collecting $145 of it. And so they bumped it to $185. And even I was surprised that someone would pay $185 for a hot stone, but that's okay. And yes, we did require these inns to purchase not only a warmer, but the stones as well. So when you can get an inn to commit to $200-400 for supplies and equipment, they're going to make sure that they're going to book you out because they want to make their money back. Actually, the last thing that I have to mention is electricity. I was telling Josh about this before we started filming, and it is kind of humorous. I don't know if any of you ever watched that show, Men in Trees. Well, Men in Trees was written by a writer. Her name is Jenny Bix, and Jenny summers here in Castine. And Jenny created this show, Men in Trees, based on Castine. Although it was in TV land based in Alaska, the story was based on Castine. And one of the episodes is the lead character arrives in this town and she checks into this inn and she plugs her blow dryer in and the entire town goes dark. Well, that's hilarious because that actually happens here. The whole town doesn't go dark, but these inns have really limited electricity. They were built in 1700 before there was electricity and running water. So as time went by, someone, snaked an extension cord through the walls, and some of that's the electricity they still have. So we've blown a lot of fuses at inns. So that is definitely one of the things that you really want to look at when you think about setting up a spa space in one of these inns. The most important thing is electricity. Is there enough juice to run your warmer, your heating blanket, and whatever other heating element that you have? Because between warming stones and a towel cabbie or a table warmer, forget about it, you're maxed out on the juice. So you've got to make sure that the room, we've actually had rooms rewired because the electricity, there just wasn't enough juice in the room to power all of the equipment that you would need. The second thing is the water. We never really had too many water issues. All of our spa treatments, of course, were dry room techniques, and so we were all set. But you do want to make sure that water is pretty close by. So I would say that that's it for today. If you have any questions, Oh, wait a minute. Josh might have something to say.
I always got to add something. And this idea really kind of excites me because there's a lot of opportunity here. There really is. But you got to remember too, there's a lot of risk. And the main thing that drives home a lot of what Jane said is you got to think about overhead because that's what's going to make or break your business. And if you don't take control of it and make sure that you're still getting enough on top of that to make it worth your time, then it's not worth doing. So you got to make sure that you cover all your bases and really make sure that everything works out.
And I think Josh is from the real world, so I'm going to break this down to our world where we are afraid to ask for money. Ask for it because you'll get it. That's how you get it. You get it because you asked for it. I can't really get over the amount of money I made in the summer. Why? Because I asked for it. And it's not that I didn't deserve it. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work schlepping everything all over the place and taking care of all the linens and, creating all of your appointments. I mean, these are all things that need to be factored in. So, so Josh said it pretty easy, pretty quickly, pretty to the point.
And these small businesses need to make money just as badly as you do. So they're always looking for opportunities to increase their income. So,
and as luck would have it, we offer several approved CE courses at www.mylearninglibrary.coursehost.com. If you've seen any of our webinars, you know by now that Josh and I have an online business. We educate MTs online, and we have some great courses. All of our spa treatments are dry room techniques. We have spa treatments from Steve Cappellini. He's one of the top guys in the spa industry, and I've created a spa treatment of my own. Pretty simple. Salt scrubs and mud wraps. What are you going to learn? Salt scrub and a mud wrap. That's it. If you just heard that little shh, it's my husband's fire pager. Is he a real fireman? No, but don't tell him I told you that. He's a volunteer fireman. So that's another thing about living here in the middle of nowhere. Don't let your house catch on fire. All right, so until next week, thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
We really appreciate your attention, and we hope you visit our website soon.